Do you want to see someone tell 8 lies in 32 seconds? It sounds impossible, right? But this guy, he just did it.
What's been accomplished in the last 9.5 months? A couple of things listed here. We passed the historic Working Families Tax Cut, one of the most landmark pieces of legislation ever passed by the U.S. Congress for the benefit of the American people. We slashed taxes for hardworking Americans, geared for the lower and middle class earners who needed that assistance. We cut hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud, waste, and abuse from government. We solved the border crisis. We are working now to solve the crime crisis in major cities around America. We strengthened Medicaid. We improved healthcare access and we lowered premiums with our legislation. We put
Unbelievable. Let's go through these one by one, just real quick.
Passed the historic Working Families Tax Cut, one of the most landmark pieces of legislation ever passed by the U.S. Congress for the benefit of the American people.
In fact, the one big, beautiful bill is the most regressive tax bill in American history. Do you know what that means? Your tax rate gets lower as your income gets higher. Yeah, it benefits Americans all right, but only if they're rich or if they're a giant corporation.
Slash taxes for hardworking Americans, geared for the lower and middle class earners who needed that assistance.
Reality is, look how much money you lose if you're on the lower end of the income scale with this tax bill, and look how much you gain if you're on the upper end.
We cut hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud, waste, and abuse from government.
The real number is closer to $16.3 billion. Johnson says we've solved the border crisis, but they've passed no comprehensive immigration legislation that will actually solve the problems that have not been addressed in 30 years. They're simply terrorizing our communities, getting rid of due process, and arresting U.S. citizens, 170 of them by now. He's also claiming to have solved the crime crisis, but crime has been dropping for years. And on the other hand, Republicans have been killing violence intervention programs, defunding local law enforcement, and he's gutting common sense gun laws that were finally starting to reduce gun violence deaths. But Johnson saves the three biggest whoppers for last.
We strengthened Medicaid.
He says we strengthened Medicaid when the Congressional Budget Office and everybody else who's analyzed the bill says it will knock 10 million people off of Medicaid.
We improved healthcare access.
There are articles like this all over the internet. Rural hospitals will be shutting down. Planned Parenthood will be less accessible and clinics are closing.
We lowered premiums with our legislation.
Republicans literally refuse to extend the ACA premium tax credits, and premiums are going to skyrocket as a result. That's why we're in a government shutdown for almost 30 days now. So you see, I was right. 8 lies in 32 seconds. If he'd had a little bit more time, he could have added, and I really want to see what's in the Epstein files. That, and I care about the deficit, and he would have had a perfect 10. Don't worry, Mike Johnson, there's another press conference for you to lie at tomorrow.